right?
We have a bow. You know, you can always lock on with the bow.
And we are live, everyone. Hello, my hunter. It's been a very long time. Sorry about that. I think we don't need an introduction, but tradition on this podcast. I'm the old hunter. I do anime reviews, Reddit reads, and here are my two co-hosts.
Hello, I am the Darkest Soul VA. But you can call me Darc. It's been a while since we last talked, and I am back here by my two friends, Old Hunter and the Knight of Green.
Oh, hello. Nice to be here. Knight of Green, Soulsborne martial artist and anime. Well, I should say, director of Demon Slice, Demon Soul. Sorry, my wife's playing Demon Souls right now. She's in Valley Defilement, so I gotta help her out a bit just in case.
Oh, no
She
worries.
doesn't know what to do.
That level is every Souls player's worst nightmare, like Blighttown. Oh, no worries.
Know what to except do. Worse, bigger and worse.
You know there's something wrong. So, we have a lot of interesting news, but I want to just say where I've been for these last few days. I've been away in Europe, back to England for a little bit for some family time and some family reasons. So, hence why I wasn't here last week. I couldn't do I was at my sister's house, so I couldn't do my podcast.
Mm-hmm.
If you're curious, it was very fun in England. Spent some time with my nieces, had some laughs. Sad to see them go, but sometimes that's the case. Sometimes.
No, I understand. Yeah.
So, news. Well, gentlemen, we're getting closer and closer to Elden Ring every single day.
Mm-hmm. That is very much true.
Did I think the day that we would actually see the new From Software game?
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, wait, are we reading that article now that you sent, or I already read it? But should we already have that information about what we saw on that?
I haven't read it because I've been busy, but I'm sure that we can.
Oh,
hang on, guys. I'm checking the internet. It's give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just basically checking. I think I'm frozen in the. Yeah, I think the internet's a little frozen.
Oh no!
I screen on my screen. I'm gonna show you the article if you want.
Okay, I think I fixed it. Okay, yeah, I fixed it. Basically, I can't leave the screen. That's why I had to ask you to do it.
All right. So I guess I'll be starting my share screen now.
Yes, please.
Okay. So for today's podcast episode, we get some exciting news.
Well,
news so far.
Yes, and apparently I'm not the only one comparing.
It's a little bit late, but yeah.
And I'm not the only one comparing From Software's new game to Breath of the Wild, apparently.
Yes, indeed.
Apparently. Oops, sorry.
So. Okay. So, I'll begin now by reading that the rumor here is that Breath of the Wild.
So
there's vast new open world game offers new levels of player choice. Yes.
Oh no! So Sorry, you continue reading. I just had to say that. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go on. See, like, you find this really funny, don't you?
Yes. Yeah. So basically, the article states right here from Polygon and by Michael McWhorter. Hopefully, I'm not wrong. At first blush, looks like a sort of super Dark Souls, a spiritual continuation of that action RPG series in a vast, vaguely familiar fantasy story. Bloodborne and Sekiro's Shadow Dies Twice is attempting something grander with Elden Ring's huge open world. This is a fantasy land so massive that it requires an in-game map. Something that past had Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and Sekiro by exploring their dungeons and castles repeatedly, building up those maps inside their brains. But in Elden Ring's The Lands Between, the game's landmass, they'll be able to place markers on a map and receive guidance on where to go next.
All right.
The article continues here. Oh, sorry.
So, we know in every single RPG we played before Dark Souls, like Skyrim, Oblivion, insert RPG there, that Dark Souls has never really needed a map, has it?
No.
Nope.
It's been more iconic, but because once you go to a place, you exactly know where to go, and after you've done it for, I would say, the second or third time. At least that's for my case.
You basically know the routines of the area, so you know the ins, the outs, the secret places. When you first play, you don't know, but as you start to get the grips of the areas, you start to understand it. So I find it interesting that he's making having a map is a big deal, because this is going to be an open world game compared to, say, let's take Sekiro, one of From's more ambitious games. You know, Sekiro, right?
Yes.
Now, what could we say? That game is semi-open world? Like, it's not really open world, but semi-open world?
Yeah, really.
But it still didn't need a map.
Less so than...
Go on.
Yeah, but... I would say less so than Dark Souls and Bloodborne, but yes, decently. Semi-open world.
The thing is I have a problem with here is that I don't think it necessarily needs to have a map, but there is no... Well, basically right now I haven't played the game, so I can't really quite say that this is a good or bad idea. But for what I'm getting is that usually with Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and Sekiro, mainly the areas of which you discovered have basically a unique world building and appearance to them. So basically, I would say that. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go on.
Sorry, I had to do something really quick. So yeah, once you basically once you, how would I say, explore all the maps, regions, secrets, nooks and crannies, and all that other stuff, you basically start to be aware of it. And yet, once you go through it again, that basically that experience stays with you. So I would necessarily don't think that having a map isn't a bad or good thing. I just think that maybe it's not really that necessary. But hey, that's actually my speculation to it.
I think it's going to be the... I feel like that's the important thing here, is that now we can mark the areas that it's like, oh, okay.
True.
Yes.
Apparently, I must have... Anyway, continue.
Basically, the article continues by saying, as players adventure through densely packed lands between, they'll encounter dungeons, giant castles, and occasional dragon bolting out of the sky to attack them. So something like from Infinity Blade 3. So we want the lands between to be filled with threats and discoveries, said from Software's producer Yasushi. I'm probably pronouncing this so wrong. Yasurio Kitayo.
Kitao.
Am I pronouncing that right?
I think it's Kitao for his last name.
Yeah, Kitao. Thank you. Basically, from software producer Kitao in a video presentation with Polygon, who described game's large map as not just big for the sake of being big in that video presentation. From software showcased diverse settings, wintry plains, an autumnal forest, a flooded city, and a decaying swampy land.
Okay, snowy
Can't
cast,
wait to see.
snowy areas are always a given from software. Minus, there's always like
And I would say also,
a flooded city.
sorry. Could you?
Okay, there's some areas that are flooded, and a what isn't decaying in any of the From games, and a swampy land. We count how many From Software games have swampy lands? I think we can agree that all of them.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say.
Come on, we traveled through
What
the.
I'm excited for is. Oh, sorry.
Go
on. I was gonna say what I am excited for is seeing how they take on the autumnal forest, because if it's anything like from what I'm hearing, I'm getting like, have any one of you played Ghost of Tsushima?
Sadly, yes. No.
Okay, well, the scenery there is very, very beautiful, and usually I believe it, like, there's a lot of seasons to it, like autumn and winter and so on, in different sections of the world. So if it's going to be like autumnal forest, I hope it has the same visuals or like landscape of that game as well. Also, It's a great game. You should check it out.
My ears are still popping from the flight. Apologies if I'm a little out of it. It was a lot.
It is totally fine.
Thank you.
So the autumnal forest, what I expect from it is basically to show a lot of promise. So I'm very excited to see how they'll like choose that. So what are your guys' thoughts?
Let's see. If it kind of reminds me of something. It kind of reminds me of something like what was the temple name in Sekiro again? Sempo Temple, wasn't it?
Yes.
I'm kind of thinking like a forest like that sort of thing. It was like very autumny in that place.
I wouldn't mind that. But I'm half expecting like sky type of diverse. Imagine having desert. Actually, you know what I'm hoping for? I don't think we've truly had like a desert region.
Yes.
But Dark Souls 2 with the Seldor Cove, that was the closest thing we've gotten. But
what about the Ash place where you get to fight Gale in Dark Souls 3?
That's more ash than sand.
Yeah.
Besides, I think like a cool idea that I would imagine is like, you know, when in Nier Automata, when you're on the sand and if you run, you actually slide down it. Like, imagine if there was like a Souls game where you it's like a tall hill, you could slide down the sand. Pretty cool, right?
No, in Dark Souls 3. I know.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
And which of or Beta Chaos it's called, I'm sorry.
I like the designs of the enemies. I'll give them that from that screenshot if we go up a second. I like the look of the unique new enemies. Maybe they'll have actually something that From hasn't reused. Does these
This really gives me Infinity Blade vibes.
Does this enemy remind you of any? Go on.
Yeah, Infinity Blade.
This reminds me of Infinity Blade. So if any one of you have played the Infinity Blades, you guys remember that two-bladed guy that had that jester-like face that could switch its head around.
Yep.
I never played Infinity Blade.
Fucking annoying.
Well, I don't see any multiple heads on that thing. Just one creepy head and two.
No, it's just the face. It reminds me of it. It gives me flashbacks.
I just wonder what. Does these things remind you of any enemy in any From game? Because I can't put a finger on it.
No, not really. No.
Maybe something from Dark Souls 2, like one of those jailers. And that's about it. But it's not even like a close resemblance, like a small, if anything.
Well, maybe they won't. Maybe this will be some new animations.
Well, we already saw the reused combat and riposte animation, so
and weapon arts and a lot and a lot of weapon arts from the original one. Anyway, so I want to say something.
So you guys want to say something, or shall I continue with the article?
Continue.
Continue with the article.
All right. So, God, I forgot how to pronounce. Kitayo said. Thank you. Man, I got to remember that. Kitao. All right. Kitao said that the dungeons that players will encounter in the fields of the lands between will have a variety. There are caves, cemeteries, and catacombs. And they're handcrafted, not procedurally generated like the Chalice dungeons of Bloodborne. But players may have find some familiarity down in those dungeons with traps, contraptions, torchlit tunnels, treasure, and mini-bosses scattered throughout. Players known as Tarnished in Elden Ring will also encounter terrible monsters and enemy soldiers. They are big, majestic ashen dragons and armored knights. There are bizarre enemies with some of which with a dozen arms in which to wield weapons, some with snake-like bodies. In one fight, an oversized falcon with swords asphyxiated to its talon sliced at the player, while also throwing powder kegs at it.
Interesting.
Yes. Oh, this makes me one of the dragons.
Looks nice. Anyway.
Tarnished will have a variety of combat techniques at their disposal to deal with threats in the land between sword combat, archery, magic spells, stealth, and arrows that will put enemies to sleep.
Well, at least they're taking something from Sekiro.
Right.
Yeah. And then we have the fabled horseback. So there. Like Dark Souls games, players can also summon help. They can call upon their spirit steed, a horse like universal, when mounted combat is warranted. Players can also summon other players, up to 2 at a time, to assist them in cooperative multiplayer. Different is the option to summon AI-controlled allies of other types. Kitao described tanky defenders and assault types, and a small mob of friendly monsters that could be summoned with the ashes of the deceased. While he didn't offer many details, it sounds like the creatures you slay in Elden Ring may offer their assistance in the afterlife at their disposal, consumable allies.
I guarantee
Step aside.
Go on.
We're gonna make a better Pokemon than you. That's what it sounds like right now.
You remember the trailers of those?
Choose you, Artorias.
Bro, you summoned our Pokeball.
You remember those in the trailers that they were those little potted creatures?
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you players are going to get those as fast as possible. You know how we always destroy pots in games? By rolling into them? I guarantee you now the pots are going to have their revenge on us.
This time the props fight back.
I think my niece gave me her code.
All right. And the article continues right here by saying, even moving through the world of Elden Ring is very different.
Sorry.
Apologies. In addition to the aforementioned Spirit Steed, which can double jump across ravines and launch hundreds of feet in the air with the aid of mystical jump pads, players can, drumroll please, jump.
Oh,
Yeah.
A jump in a Souls game, everyone! Is it the apocalypse?
Woo! So, similar to how Wolf of Sekiro Shadow Die Twice moved through his world, Elden Ring players will be able to leap and bound without fear of fall damage through the environment, traversing some areas like crumbled castles or rocky terrain appears to require liberal jumping.
Could you guys hold on 1 second while I get some tissue? I'll be back.
Yes. Jeez, is he all right?
I hope so. I think he said he got a cold from one of his nieces or nephews.
Oh, God.
Hope it's not COVID-19.
Yeah, this pandemic, man, it's been the death of us.
Was that a boom moment, or was that serious?
If I said I'm okay, when you phrase it like that, I am not sure anymore.
It's like,
because it's true on both fronts, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I was like. Is that a pun or is that serious?
Yeah. All right.
Apologies, gentlemen. Did I miss anything?
No.
You mind going up a little second with where we last left off?
All right, sure thing. So, the article then continues on. In one section of the game, known as Stormville Castle, we watched a tarnished approach the entrance gates, only to be greeted by a friendly creature who told them that going through the front door was a bad idea.
Going through the front door.
Of course, going to. When is there ever the option to go through the front door in a Souls game? You always got to go the long way about. If not, you're not a Souls game. You know,
Imagine they actually did that in one game.
You know remember that little that little rebel that was in the way in Dark Souls 2. You could get to the castle.
Oh my god, yeah.
So basically, instead of just climbing over the rubble, it was just basically kill 4 bosses, unlock another door to get into the area. Oh, the heresy. I think I caught a cold.
Oh, wow. How can you tell? Hope you get better, man.
I think my niece gave
So the article then continues on. Oh, sorry.
I think my niece gave me this cold.
Well, love is sure contagious now, is it?
Yeah. Anyway, go on.
Give you.
So the article then continues. He offered the person from the castle offered a second safer route, but the player opted for the hard path, had the gates open for them, and was immediately welcomed with a volley of arrows.
Well, then I guess it keeps with the theme of the Forum games. Basically, despite being the simplest route, you gotta die a lot. Open the door, you got shot with a volley of arrows, and then.
I know. The challenge excites me. So, doubling back to pursue the easier circuitous path, we were shown that it is required to jump a lot, sneak, and battles with armed but underprepared guards. So, there was also a giant troll.
So I guess now From's taking more from more stereotypical fantasies that there's a troll.
I'm still waiting for my ogre.
I think that was in Dark Souls 2, remember? Those big lads?
Oh, no, that wasn't ogre. No, I was looking for Shrek.
No.
I know Sekiro, people have modded the chained ogre to look like Shrek.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's so funny, dude. So there was also a giant troll, and had the player chosen the direct, more difficult path, it would have been a face-to-face fight. In this secret path, they take it down stealthily with a sleep arrow and let it lie.
So
in another section... Oh, sorry.
So now From basically is doing the multiple do-it-your-way approach and just basically saying, here it is you, here you are, here are the enemies, kill everything in sight, and make sure not to die. Can't I just basically have the sword? It's a narrow path, and basically, let me just them. Anyway, continue.
So, in another section, the player approached a caravan, containing treasure under the cover of night. They sneaked through tall grass to hide themselves, shot a sleep arrow into a guard, and finished him off with their blade. The other guards, now alerted, were dispatched with a curved sword and magical skills imbued into that weapon. It was a short work, and the treasure was quickly earned. More guards were dispatched by summoning a quartet of red-eyed phantoms with their ashes. It was a battle unlike anything I'd seen from a From Software game. The player, 5 ghostly creatures, and a half-dozen soldiers all fighting at once.
Huh.
Are you sure he's not describing another game? I know it sounds cool. This doesn't sound like something Frobby would make. Maybe I'm yeah. Anyway.
So it also states that the core combat will likely feel similar to Dark Souls players. No, that's impossible. So, but From Software is also borrowing from the faster-paced elements from Bloodborne and Sekiro.
Quick question, guys. In your opinion, which game's faster, Sekiro or Bloodborne?
Say Bloodborne is faster, but I feel like Sekiro has a lot more fluidity.
Fair enough.
Bloodborne is it's like a very unsteady and short slope that's very quick, but very, very not smooth. While Sekiro is a little bit slower, but it's more fluent and basically nicely crafted.
Yeah. Cinematic sword duelist Sekiro. Bloodborne is maniacal beast wailing and flailing around.
Yeah, that's why we love it, boys.
Indeed. So players can dash out of harm's way and whittle down an enemy's stance to deal critical damage. Not quite the guaranteed kill of a death blow from Sekiro, but deadly nonetheless.
So now they take the elements of Sekiro and putting it in the Dark Souls formula.
Technically.
The praised one. He gas. Oh, sorry. My wife asked me a question.
Thank you. Anyway, let's continue.
There's also a new combat mechanic, a guard counter. Guard counter. So this will let players quickly respond after blocking at the expense of stamina. Gatal said that guard counter is separate from parrying, which will return from Dark Souls.
Okay.
I'm interested to see how that will work. So, and then the last little bit here says there will be other familiar elements from Software games past.
Oh, God.
Fast travel via Elden Ring's equivalent of bonfires, which is the soul sites of Lost Light. A young maiden who will help them level up and learn new skills. Her name is Melina.
Oh, okay.
A hub world where friends and allies meet in the fields will congregate, and fragmented storytelling that will let the player interpret the events and history of this world. It will also be, from Software's tradition, a challenging game.
I like it, the fact that they didn't say difficult and just respected Miyazaki's term of challenging. Anyway.
For once.
So the developer may encapsulate that best in its own description of Elden Ring, a good old-fashioned RPG. And basically, there are over 211 comments, which I will not be reading.
You know, it's funny. You know something, guys? This whole article.
What would that be?
You know, this whole article was just basically talking about Elden Ring, but he never. Yet the title says why Elden Ring will be the breath of the wild for Darc. Go down.
Yes, it will. Technically. Yeah.
Yes, yet he didn't. If this was basically what I thought it would be, basically, let's see how similar Breath of the Wild is to Elden Ring. Jesus, sometimes polygons doesn't have any. People like him have no.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you just want me to flat out say it. I think they're just literally clickbaiting with the Breath of the Wild because there's barely any Breath of the Wild talk right here. There's no comparisons or anything to it.
That's just a clickbaity title because, literally, they could have made it. They could have went their way to have actually pulled information from Breath of the Wild and actually did a comparison what they saw. But it's kind of annoying how you have a clickbaity title but don't follow through on it fully.
It's basically to the extent of saying there's going to be a new Dragon Ball Fighter Z game, and it's going to be talking about Dragon Ball Fighter Z 2 is going to basically be the new Street Fighter 2, and it only talks about the anime of Dragon Ball Z.
They could have easily taken the aspects of how Elden Ring is basically an open world. You know how Breath of the Wild is very barren in its world, very few human settlements.
Yes,
they could have easily taken the elements of that, say that Elden Ring's environments will be similar to Zelda to Breath of the Wild due to the fact that it'll have sparse populations, if not, and basically be more focused on the gameplay and exploration than say, you know what I mean, right? Do I need to spell it out?
I know what you mean.
They could have actually.
Speaking of Breath of the Wild, sorry to interrupt, but do you think there will be a Zelda reference in any of these games?
Maybe. I
Maybe,
wouldn't put it past.
but even Miyazaki stated he doesn't want his creation to be compared to Zelda because he feels like his creation isn't even worthy to be compared to Zelda.
Oh.
So he doesn't think it's worthy. He doesn't think it would be compared.
Yeah, he doesn't. He feels like that Zelda is basically not. He just feels like it's unfair to compare his series to Zelda.
Yes, it's like comparing a taco to a sandwich.
Interesting.
There are similar elements, but that's.
And this is brought to you by Taco Bell's new taco sandwich.
This is the interesting part. This is the interesting part because both of them are third-person action games, but Zelda focused more on puzzles. Pardon me. And Dark Souls focused more on the combat, and the combat knows is stuffy.
Oof.
I don't think I can record this week because otherwise people know I'm sick. But maybe the show has to go on. Anyway, this title was clickbaity, and who was the author to this little piece?
The author to the title was Michael McWhorter.
Michael should have basically been more the proper title for this little adventure is how Elden Ring is similar to From's previous games, not how it might be From Software's Breath of the Wild. There was no mention of Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
There was no mention of how its mechanics are similar. You could argue, hey, both Zelda and Elden Ring will rely on horse travel. You know how in other games horse travel is just a convenient extra.
Mm-hmm.
But in both Zelda and Elden Ring, it is in Breath of the Wild, it is an impairment to get things done.
All right.
You could have easily said that. He could have even mentioned how. I could keep going on. He could have mentioned how Elden Ring's diverse way. How do I put this? Their diverse way of combat and item uses could be mimicking Zelda's way of being crafty with your tools.
Right, that's one way of doing it.
Or how Zelda. I didn't play Breath of the Wild, but it did focus more on boss battles, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I played it. It was I would say they focus more on boss battles and puzzle solving. That's what I got from it.
And I feel like Elden Ring might have implemented it with some of the game. If we looked at from what Miyazaki says, there might be more of a puzzle element to the bosses this time.
Ooh.
Okay.
He could have easily
That'd be something worth to talk about.
He might, I said, not they will, but with explaining and how we've been with past information, basically, and how do I put this? That different bosses have to be dealt with different situations, like how different bosses have different strategies to them. That is sort of a puzzly element to it. He could have easily said that Dark Souls is basically taking more elements from puzzle-based fights.
Mm-hmm.
You see how easy this is for me, and I'm not even writing it.
Well, I don't think people are even trying anymore. They just want
such a shame.
Yeah, they just want your view, and then technically it's like, oh, I won, I got the view, I got the click. And that's what I'm getting paid.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Look, I am excited for Elden Ring like any Souls fan. Let's all agree, right, guys?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, speaking of which...
Amen, brother. Amen.
Speaking of that, quick news, everybody. I've been recently playing Monster Hunter World.
Oh, what's this?
Do you like it?
I love it. On
what
PC.
System?
That's good to hear.
You said PC?
Yep, sorry. I got it on my computer. Anyway, I've been enjoying it very
then I
much.
may want to reinstall it and play it with you, because I have it on my PC as well.
Actually, Darc, I was thinking... I'm going to introduce another one of my things. Perhaps we could do a stream together where we basically... I'm still in the game, but maybe we could stream it together and you could help me along. Basically.
Sure thing. I've been a Monster Hunter since Monster Hunter Tries. So...
Yeah. You're old school Monster Hunter player.
Yes, I'm old school. Basically, I was part of the thing where they learned how to swim.
One other interesting new fact, guys, I've been hearing for Monster Hunter fans.
Oh, Rise has an expansion similar to Iceborne coming out. Yeah.
And it's coming to PC.
I don't know why consoles is not getting it. I mean, sorry, I'm outside of Switch.
Well, and I hear there's going to be crossplay between Switch and PC.
Okay, well, that'll be extremely good because I have both a Switch and a PC, so I'll see which one is technically better.
I mean, most likely the PC one, but no, I'm upset because my brother has my Switch, so I can't play Rise. And also, yeah, I just want it on PS5. So, like,
I don't blame you. Anyway, we can talk about that. We can talk about that a bit. We still got lots of time.
Mm-hmm.
But back to this little article about Elden Ring, since we're still waiting. It's still a few months out.
Mm-hmm.
I think basically ever since it was reannounced, since the trailer came out this year. Let's not forget the new trailer came out just last year, just a few months ago. That basically the whole Elden Ring hype has just been reignited like a forest fire.
Yep.
Yeah. The amount of times where it just died off and then just reignited and died off again and reignited again, it's like basically like putting like a trail of gunpowder to a barrel of TNT.
That's true. And I feel like this has just basically made people with clickbaity articles just come out of the woodwork again. Where we have people like Vati Vidya and other respectable Souls tubers basically doing the good work, we have people like these guys just basically making how Elden Ring is basically just Dark Souls. I think any From Software, any Souls fan would kind of tell him that, yeah, it's going to be similar to the thing we like.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I am seriously feeling so well today.
Like, I mean, I could compare it to Doom Eternal, but I don't think that would end well.
Oof. Where's the basis even do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is just basically one question. Are we going to see... It's interesting that despite how popular Dark Souls is, it hasn't been it hasn't done any cross promotion with any other series. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's been its own entity and it's been growing off of it ever since. It's going strong.
I kind of like it that way. You know why? It doesn't feel desperate.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take... I mean, to be fair, I feel like Demon Souls and all the Souls games are basically like wank-offs to Berserk.
Before the author's death, which is still a tragic thing for the Souls community because his series...
Exactly. Such a waste. And did you see his last the last comic that came out?
I sadly didn't.
You got to see it, man. It's so heartbreaking knowing that will be the last one. It's still... I like it, but it's just, man, I miss him so. Why did he have to go?
I know, and it was a tragic event for us Souls fans, considering he was the one who inspired Miyazaki for the series we love.
Mm-hmm.
I actually read a report one time that basically that the author was going to be working with From on a project.
Wow.
I didn't know it was true, but I did read a few articles saying that Hidetaka Miyazaki was working with the Berserk author on something.
Dang.
Something. I figure out what that thing was.
Would have been something.
It would have been something, but now it's not.
Oh, and then going on that news, the Berserk manga will continue.
Yay. Hopefully.
I know, but I just don't think it'll be as good.
One of the author's assistant will be continuing the manga and his absence due to the death.
I mean, hopefully, do you have any notes or anything that could help with this process?
I don't know about it, but that's all I read, that the author's assistant on Berserk will continue the story of Berserk.
Uh-huh.
Maybe he told them how the series will end. I'm going to make a prediction right now that basically Guts doesn't kill Griffith, I think, yeah, Griffith, and basically just leaves him. An ultimate, basically, of just basically saying, I've grown past you, and I will not fall to my vengeance. Excellent.
Oh no. See, the thing is, yeah, okay, from a personal level, sure, but Griffith is, an evil demon guy doing evil demon stuff. So I mean, I feel like even if
And have you seen how angry Guts is with Griffith?
Oh, I've seen plenty of times how Guts can get angry with Griffith, but I'm just trying to say from a story practicality of a growing character. Griffith is a horrible person. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't.
I mean, sure, you could say, okay, Guts moves on from the pain that Griffith was brought on him, but it's not like Griffith is not an evil demon dude doing evil demon stuff at this
Again,
point.
it was just my prediction. I could be completely wrong.
Okay, let's not argue.
Okay,
no. I'm just thinking. Like,
I know. I just don't want it to devolve into something. Basically, they're starting a war in the comments saying like this should be that and that should be this. No.
Anyway,
no.
if anybody has their predictions for the Berserk ending for the Berserk manga, do write it down. But be civilized, please.
Yes, do not devolve into a war and do that reenactment scene of basically the Revenge of the Sith. Please, I do not need another Anakin burning in lava.
Don't believe.
Careful, I don't want Disney to copyright this channel because you mentioned Star Wars.
Oh, sorry, God.
If you don't believe in my fan canon version of Berserk ending, you're my enemy.
You underestimate my power.
Oh, as much as people wail on the first and second movie, the third was pretty decent on both the story aspect and the characters.
I like the first one. That's my favorite.
Burn the heretic! Burn this heretic, everyone!
No, Jar Jar is horrible. Don't get me wrong. He's horrible. If he was like not in it, then it would be a perfect movie.
See, let me tell you. I feel like the story of the prequels is very good. Like, if you distilled the bad dialogue, awkward scenes, and like distilled it from like a story perspective, I feel like they're very good movies.
Yeah, it's just the execution. It was not as good.
I think
the fight's amazing though. Like,
yeah, it was amazing. I think the point was because I think the whole point with Lucas was basically the idea that the sequels are basically where everybody's old and tired. This has been going on for long. When whatever we go on.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, enough about Star Wars and all that. Back to Elden Ring.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking, gentlemen, how should we do this? Should we? I don't know. I was thinking when Elden Ring comes out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I have an idea. Darc.
Yes.
I have an idea that might actually be fantastic.
All right.
I'll be playing the Elden Ring as well when it comes out, but I was thinking we could try spicing up this stream a little bit for this chat for my podcast. When Elden Ring comes out, you're getting it for PC, right?
I'm getting it for PC, yes.
Oh, I was thinking maybe when we're on the podcast, we could watch you play for a little bit and just discuss things. Since as well, I'll be playing it too, but it'll be interesting to have a discussion when we watch it.
All right. Well, basically, whenever I rage at games, so your discretion is advised.
YouTube seems to be a bit more flexible with swearing on stream, so I think I'll be fine. Nice.
All right.
I'd like to continue, but my health is. I can't continue because I'm getting a little sick right now. Sorry for cutting the stream a little short, guys, but oh god, I can't continue.
So I guess we're gonna call it quits here.
We're gonna call it an early stream. I'd like to thank anybody who's watched up to this point because it's appreciative deeply. It just shows that people do enjoy my channel. Don't expect a new video soon because I think I'm going to rest up first and to make sure I'm healthy again.
Yes. Oh, and good news, by the way. If you all if any one of you are on my channel, you will have to wait in a few more days because in a few more days, my JoJo comic dub is almost done.
Speaking of which,
soon.
Darc, I need to ask you a little favor.
Yes.
You know any female voice actors?
Yes, I very much do.
I'm trying to get to the comic dub. I'm trying to do some comic dubbing myself, and I need a couple of females for what I want to do for my first comic dub.
Well then, my good sir, you know what you need? You need to go to the Discord server, which is Creators Network. Hold on, let me stream that for you. Basically, for Creators Network, it is a Discord website for talented and basically newbie voice actors, which I find some of them for me, but I also find them on Twitter and other stuff, but I usually find them here on the Casting Call or the Creators Network.
Oh, I have that too. I'm on the same Discord server too at the Casting Call. I'll put a shout out that I need some female voice actors, but I can't pay them. That's the issue.
Oof.
Well, some of them do it for free or in exchange for just getting them a shout out or something like that.
I'll happily do that. Anyway, I'll make sure to do that.
I need to find that for creators.
Yeah.
Because
also, I might need you in some of my dubs, Ducky.
All right, sounds good.
Anyway, I think we're going to cut the stream here. I appreciate everybody. If you like this stream, do like and subscribe and check out my previous content because I just need one more vote for 110 subscribers. So if you subscribe to that, that'll be very much appreciated. Also, do check out my two co-host channels. Darc does excellent comic dubs and Green does excellent swordsmanships with mimicking Dark Souls movesets. And they're fantastic YouTubers, and I'm glad that they're on my podcast. Any final words, you two? Before I cut the
I'm
stream?
just glad to be here. Always
a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Until then, may the good blood guide your way, guys. And I'm going to think I need some healing blood for my soul.
Fear the old blood.
Take care.